Norbert Ealy was a talented young man with a gift for words, and should have been one of Washington's most eligible bachelors. Unfortunately, Norbert's talents and gifts did him little good when it came to women, because he suffered from a medical condition known as involuntary eye roll. Whenever Norbert heard a falsehood, a half-truth, or even a statement that could not be easily corroborated, his eyes would involuntarily roll. Thus, in the midst of passion, if Norbert said, "You are the most beautiful woman in the world," his eyes would involuntarily roll, since conceivably somewhere in the world there could be a more beautiful woman. Unreasonably, women accused Norbert of being the rudest and most sarcastic man they had ever dated. When Norbert tried to explain his rather rare condition, they called him a liar, and he was forced to quickly exit amid a stream of flying books, flower vases, and picture frames. Unlucky in love, Norbert was lucky in his professional life, for he was the head speechwriter for Congressman Norbert Ealy. Of course, Norbert's eyes were constantly rolling given the things that came out of Congressman Ealy's mouth, but his colleagues wrote this off to Norbert's coolness. "Norbert sure doesn't drink the Kool-Aid," other speechwriters and aides said admiringly. In the congressman's defense, it should be said that most of the words coming out of his mouth, the very words that caused Norbert's eyes to roll, were, in fact, the words that Norbert had put in the congressman's mouth. No one could make even Norbert Ealy sound positively Churchillian or Reaganesque like Norbert Ealy. With the insertion of a few indeeds and a rolling cadence, Norbert could turn the dreariest old platitudes into crowd-pleasing drafts of inspiration. A typical speech for the congressman went something like this. "We are, indeed, the American people. Indeed, we are the people who love mother. I call my mother, Mom. Indeed, we are a great people who love Mom and pie. Indeed, we love apple pie. Indeed, we are a great people who love Mom, apple pie. And yes, we are, indeed, a great people who love the flag. The flag that stands for the land we love. Indeed, that land is our home. The land that loves Mom, apple pie, and the people of America." At this point, the crowd was usually on its feet chanting, "USA! USA! USA!" Had it not been for his unfortunate medical condition, Norbert might actually have been able to take Norbert Ealy's place in Congress, for Norbert was a talented young man with a gift with words, and Norbert Ealy, while amiable, was a dunce. Of course, it didn't really matter that Norbert Ealy was a dunce. He was, after all, only a congressman, and had once proudly boasted, "I never read any piece of legislation that I ever voted on." Norbert Ealy regarded this as good time management. He knew he didn't have to waste time reading all of those tedious bills. All he had to do was get the word from his primary financial backer, the celebrity magician and ventriloquist Selby Ampeder, aka Selby the Great, and he would know in his heart how to vote. Now normally Norbert Ealy was the easiest man in the world with whom to get along. But in early January he was tense. Very tense. He said to Norbert Ealy, "Selby the Great is the opening act at the party's national convention in Andromeda City next month, and he wants me to give the warm-up pitch to his newest magic trick. This is the biggest speech of my life. You've got to pull out all of the stops, son, all of the stops." Norbert Ealy knew this was the big one. All of the party's big wigs would be there, not to mention all of the party's big donors. This speech could carry Norbert Ealy to the VP spot on the national ticket, and who knew, maybe in a few years even beyond. And Norbert Ealy could be there with him, if he could hit this one out of the ballpark. And so on the fateful night, Congressman Norbert Ealy said, "My fellow Americans, many in America now abed shall think themselves accursed that they were not here with us tonight. Here, on this historic anniversary month of America's birthday. Indeed, on this most historic of Thursdays. Americans thought about things in a new way. Indeed, what they did changed everything. And now, what Selby the Great, the magician of magicians, will do has the potential, indeed, holds out the promise to future generations of Americans, that all things are indeed possible in this great land, and that if we embrace the old with the innovations of the new, we can all move forward, together, to the bright sunlit uplands. Behold, as Selby the Great makes a pig dance and sing for its supper." The entire crowd was on its feet chanting, "Ealy! Ealy! Ealy!" Norbert Ealy felt tears in his rolling eyes. Thanks for watching.